Sunday. I just got off the phone with a gentleman from Canada. Wonderful conversation with him about the stump grinding business. He's about to retire from basically government and military service. And it's a blessing to get to talk to people from around the world. Had an email the other day from South Africa from a gentleman. South Africa. I mean, made my day. Anyway, you guys know about the sticker contest. You've seen the trailer comes in, and if you send me a picture back after you win a sticker, try to incorporate you in the next following video or sometime right afterwards. And there's the stickers. I retired. This one is retired. It's the original one. So you got a choice if you happen to win. It's the Stump Grinding Mafia, or remember, if you're not learning something new every day, you must be dead. Or the smaller one here that says Mustangrebuilder that my son originally did the artwork for. And also, I said it in the past, a lot of people don't know, and I'll show you later on, I am an artist also. Well, kind of. So I'll show you some more work. I'm also called a miniaturist. I can paint portraits the size of a quarter. Anyway, that's another deal. Another little fact you don't know about me. Big, rough, tough guy that paints little things. All right. Remember I made a video a while back about handling difficult customers and stuff like that. Well, I'm going to give some facts away about myself that I really don't. I had to analyze myself in the past about this. When I was young, I was basically born an old man. In my younger years, or even as a teenager, I've always been a serious person. I didn't laugh very much. I didn't talk very much. I was looked up to my brother. I was thought I was, my brother was here, my father was here, and I was somewhere and down over here. But I was always quiet, but I was an observer. Okay, I always watched and learned every day. And tell you that I was learning, but if I was watching you, I was learning. Okay, but I was very intense later on in life. Even through college, I went through college, technical college. I went through extremely fast, did 2 years and like a year and a quarter. I had a 19-hour load. I mean, everything I did was intense. While everybody else was going having a couple of buds or whatever, I was like, I can't do that. I got to study. I got to study. All right, even when I got on the fire department, I promoted rather quickly. Promoted to what's called, in the military, be a lieutenant. In certain fire services, it'd be a lieutenant, which is, your first branch of a company officer. But my fire service was called driver, fire equipment operator. So that means when the captain was away or he went up to another position temporarily, I would go from being a driver to the captain's seat. Okay, so basically as a driver, I was a temporary captain. Sometimes when I got promoted to that position, I went to a station that my captain was on his way out, retiring, so he was really never there. So I remember my first day there, my chief came up to me and says, "You are now the captain and driver of Engine 1, which is a whole different story in itself. Very intense. So right away after I made driver, I knew that if 1 year in that seat as rank, I could take it. If there was a captain's exam given, I could take it. And I put the books down. When I made driver, and I picked them right back up. I was back in it. But on a captain's exam, there's two parts to the exam. There's your written part of your exam, and then there's what's called oral assessment. And that has two different branches to it. One deals with fire situations or emergency situations, setting up things and scenarios and stuff like that. The other half of it deals with situations that could be with handling, customers, which in the fire service, the civilian world is your customer. You're representing the city, the county, or whatever. And the other part is handling people during emergencies. And then another very important part is, if you're the captain, handling your crew and problems that people have in life as being under your crew. All right? So I'm going to show you something. One of my men, when I promoted, and I was the captain slash driver, or driver slash captain in the beginning, right? When I told you I was intense. Through artwork is like a mirror of what other people see you as, right? I was always a friendly person, nice person, but I was always intense, all right? So, back when I was in really good shape, had a flat top, had hair, in the beginning, this piece of artwork, I don't know if you can see it very well, was drawn by one of my privates while we were sitting at the coffee table. All right? That's me. Okay? Now, I don't know if you can read what that says. I'll turn it around here so you can see what it says. And by the way, this was drawn on a small index card and slid to me at the table. Now, I could have got pissed off, but I actually left my rear end off. And this is one of my most treasured pieces I have of my career. It says, "What the F are those privates doing?" And it shows me with one lip up, my mustache crooked. I think I was born with a mustache. I've always had one. And shows me as being a mean SOB. But truth is, on emergency scenes or long hazmat operations and stuff like that, I could have always gone to the chief's cars or command post and done stuff there. But instead, I ate in the ditch with my men. Whatever they were eating, I was eating. Before I sent a man into anything dangerous, if I knew how to do something better than they did or experienced it before, knew how to do a certain valve and hydrous ammonia or whatever it was, I suited up in a level A and I went in with them. I'm not going to send somebody in and it's his first time in there or whatever. I might have made those people my backup team to come in and get me if something goes wrong, but I always went in there with my men. That's just the way I was. A lot of other captains weren't that way. Anyway, enough of that. But the reason why there's a whole purpose behind that picture in this video. Me telling you I was intense. When I got off duty, I had the tree service and the lawn service or whatever back then. But when I got off duty, I was outside, and I liked being outside because it was stress relieving, being out with nature and whatever. But when I was studying for that exam to become a full-fledged captain, chief officer come by, knew me real well, and he knew all the stresses that were thrown on me. And he knew I was studying for a test. And he said, "Hey, Adam, I want you to read this book." I said, "Chief, I'm already studying the books." He goes, "No, I want you to read this book. I know you think it's a joke, but I want you to read this book. This book will help you promote, and it will blast your business. I know you own a business too. It will blast your business to another place." And I said, "All right, Chief, if you say so. You're a chief. I'm a driver. You got it." So I would read all my regular study material during the day. Before I went to bed, I'd read this book. I'd read 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Now, remember, if you're not a reader, a lot of people aren't readers. I'm not saying that you don't know how to read, but some people, it's not their forte. You can get this book on audio, okay? So you can play it on audio too. And listen to it while you're driving, okay? If you have a commute or wherever. This book will help you out in life, whether you're a salesman, if you own a business, if you're in the military. It's a special place in my heart for military guys. A policeman. Actually, I believe every freaking policeman needs to read this book because, you go to work and people hate you, But if you're in the fire service too, you need to read this book because you're dealing with people. All right. This book has been in print for over 80 years. And it's got the simplest cover on it that you think, why would I read this? This sounds stupid. It's written by a guy, Dale Carnegie. I think it was written in the 30s, okay? And it says, how to win friends and influence people. You know, I made a video a while back about how to handle difficult customers. It's basically what I did here. Not that I read it again to tell you on that video. It's from the knowledge I gained from this. All right. So, enough with the boring part. I'm going to tell you how this book, okay, this simple book, all right, Dale Carnegie. I'll put a link from Amazon in the description. You'll have it. And it's got all kinds of different chapters. It's a simple read. It's not complicated. It's not a boring read. It's like a history book and stuff like that in a way. It says how to win people to your way of thinking. Be a leader, how to change, and giving offensive 6 ways to make people like you. Fundamental techniques of handling people. If you're in business, you're handling people. You got the customers today who are just waiting for you to get there and mess up so they can jump on you. So, I'm going to tell you a little story. It's story time. 2 weeks ago, I'm doing a job. And for some reason, we're in this rainy, like it rains, it doesn't rain, it rains. We're in this weather pattern for the last 2 weeks. So, it's not raining, I go do this job. Contractor calls me and says, hey, next door there'll be 3 stumps, smaller ones. Could you grab them too before you leave? So I get in the backyard next door. Everything's going good. They're just small little stumps. I'm popping them, you know. Now I'm popping them, and this guy's got a very, very nice yard. All right? And what I always do is I grind them, then I come back, and then I rake them, okay? I don't haul away anything like I say, but I rake them. Anyway, quick thing. So, I'm already done grinding. I'm leaving out. Now the holes aren't raked in yet, okay? And I had ringed the doorbell, the guy wasn't home. I'm pulling out of his back gates onto his concrete, and I see this guy with this intense look on his face. Walks right past me and goes straight to the backyard, you know. And he goes, hey, you missed a stump. That's what they told me it was 3. He goes, oh, there's 4. I detected an attitude. I said, no problem. It's already drizzling out, starting, you know, it was dry, now it's drizzling. So, we just pull the machine back in, while I'm done with it, pull him back out. And he's walking around the yard looking, you know, seeing if I did any damage, and then the holes are open. So he's already got this more intense look on his face. And, you know, I got my headset on and stuff. So I go to the truck, load the trailer, drop it down. And I've got to, I don't ever interrupt myself loading it. I load, put my chains down or straps down and pin everything, because that way I don't forget. So I'm done with that. I reach in the back of the truck. The old man's still staring at me like he thinks I'm about to drive away. I reach in the back, I get my rake and the blower and everything. I'll go back in his yard, fix everything up. Now, while I'm doing the last raking, the last 3 minutes of the job, it starts to frickin' rain. So I'm walking back out of the yard. The guy's got his garage door open. He's standing there with his arms like this. What does that tell you? He's in defense mode, right? That's it. Oh boy. Anyway, he's wearing a hat. And some of you guys watching this out of the country, I'm not sure if you're veterans from the military have their hats, to where it says, you know, veteran, and he's wearing a Marine Corps hat, and it says retired on it. So, turn to the guy. Now he's got this stone cold look at him. He's like 78 years old, 77. And I said, excuse me, were you a Marine? He goes, well, yeah. I said, which war? He said, Vietnam. Ask him his rank. He tells me, he said, I was just, you know, back then I was just corporal. I said, listen, you guys, and he told me his position he was doing out there, and I seen his face change. So I told the guy, thanks for your service. Because of people like you, We're all safe here. You had the balls to go to the military. He said, I didn't have the balls. I got drafted. The guy's arms goes from this down. He's like, hey, I got a refrigerator in the garage. You want a Coke? You want a water? And he goes and gets me a towel because I'm standing on the outside of his garage and it's freaking now it's raining. He goes, oh no, hey, just dry yourself off or whatever. I say, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to go to the truck. I said, are you good? Everything's good? You like the way everything looks? He goes, oh man, it's fantastic, you know. He said, how did you know about, little things about the military? I said, my uncle was in the army and stuff during Vietnam. And my dad grew up in Europe. He grew up during the war in Europe, a kid with bombs falling around. And so the guy tells me, thank you. Okay. And so we left. I found a way to do this book and some things that were instilled in me growing up. To take a customer that's like this, right? To now he's like, hey, have a great day. See you. Now I'm going to tell you another quick story. I'm sorry if this is a little long and boring you, but it's really important for your business. And important for your military guys. I'm in Burger King right before COVID hits, right? And this is another thing why you need to know history. All right? So I make my order. The little guy comes behind me, make his order, and I stand back. Is waiting for my order to get filled. It's a little older man. He looks to be in late 80s, 90 years old or whatever. His jeans are ironed, starched with a line in it. His shirt is perfectly, ironed and stuff. He's old school, perfect. He's an older, great shape gentleman, all right? He's wearing a red hat. Another one of those Marine Corps hats. Right? So I'm thinking to myself, at his age, and then I look at the hat again, it says Korea. So I said, excuse me, thank you for your service. Old man had this, he looked like he was like depressed, waiting. As soon as I said that, he perked up. So, thank you. He said, were you in the military too? I said, nah, it's a fire service. 7 of my buddies went to the Marine Corps. I went to college instead, so I have a special place in my heart for Marine Corps. I tell him that. And he goes, oh, well, thanks. I said, you're in Korea, so were you one of the chosen frozen? The guy's whole face changed. Some of you that don't know about it, I'm going to put a link in the description, a little video you have to watch about this. So the guy's eyeballs are big, and he's like, you know about that? I said, yeah, I know about it. During the Korean War, we were blasting through Korea. Blasting. MacArthur had us, we were just moving, pounding, going through, all the way and go all the way. That's why it's in North and South Korea. You'll know later when you watch it. We were going past it, almost to the border of China. Chinese knew they had a threat because MacArthur was against communism and stuff like that, whatever. So the Chinese were afraid that we weren't going to stop there; we were going to go past. So there was an area called Chosin. It's like, oh, how you watch the video? But the whole thing about it is, so many of us Americans died there, frozen. Conditions got so bad there. The weapons wouldn't work. Guys, if you died, you were frozen into like a log, and we got our rear ends beat, And it was a massive, they don't like to use the word retreat, but it was, to get out of there, we were getting knocked off left and right. So you got to watch the video, It's a guy thing, you watch it or whatever, but then that's what also builds respects for seeing people in the military. So the old man, I told him about it, that I knew about it. The old man he reaches up, he's a short old man, puts his hand on my shoulder, and tells me, I made his day. So, remember, Even with the help of this book. Read it. If you can read it. If you don't want to read it, get the audio version, listen to it, whatever. Pass it on to your kids. It'll change their life. They'll promote. If you're selling anything or work in a big building, atmosphere, whatever, this book will help you. It will change you from, I'm going to be honest, from me being an intense prick to being a nicer person. I've always been a good person in my whole life, but I was always intense. This book lightened me up. I learned. I smoked that captain's exam. You know, I placed real high on it, thanks to that book. So if you're in the military, going for a promotion, read the book. If you're a cop that's out in the field every day and feel like everybody's throwing a rock at you, read the book. If you're a guy in the stump grinding business, tree business, lawn business, whatever business, plumber, whatever, read the book. Because you know why? If you go there with a great attitude and treat your customer great, your business will do nothing but expand and explode. God bless you. It's Sunday with me. Sorry if I bored you, but you know what? I feel this is one of the most important videos I've ever made. All right? And I revealed a little bit of stuff about me. All right? Hopefully I die. And at my funeral, they don't say, here lies a prick. But instead they say, he's a top-notch guy. God bless you. Have a great Sunday.